The way that I would describe it is you have three different types of consumers in the marketplace today. You have your traditional consumer who basically consumes information and searches for information in using traditional media sources. They might bridge to the second class, which is the online consumer. That's the person who would go to Google, for example, to start the research process. And then you have this idea of a social consumer who doesn't necessarily take to Google. They take to their social streams to seek, share, discover, to learn. There's divergent behavior. There's little overlap. For brands, you can't ignore any one of them. There's just a different balance they need to strike into how much time and resources they invest in each one of those. However, for those who have a solid base within social, I would like to think of Facebook as their website for the social web. So they don't need to abandon their other website because that's addressing the traditional and the online consumer. And it's a hard thing to explain to brands because they've been groomed for years to try to increase the traffic to their site. It's an art and science. And now we're here telling them, well, you want to recreate that experience in a whole nother place. And the first thing that they ask is, why would I want to take people away from my website? It's a very complex answer. But in a short interview, it could be distilled in the sense of, well, those people aren't going to your website because the social consumer's attention is already here. So knowing that, how would you now like to guide their experience? Would you like to send them out of Facebook to your website where it's not any way, shape, or form social and not at all how they consume information? Or would you like to take advantage of the fact that you can customize the tabs within Facebook and recreate your web experience, just adding social dynamics? So as they like, share, comment, it all goes back into the stream and they act as a referral engine, a human Google for you.
That's correct, but there's also one thing is that if we take the example of Starbucks, for example, it's true that they have like 12 million fans on Facebook, but just around like 2 million people visiting their website. So the activity is happening on Facebook. However, they don't own their activity on Facebook. Does this represent a risk for a company?
There is, I guess a way to describe that would be there's paid, owned, earned, shared, sponsored media. There's 5 different classes.
Yep.
Not any one of them should be ignored. They should be cultivated. I own my consumer on the website, I guess to some extent, but really, which is my growth segment? Which is my growth market? Is the ownership of the data, I guess it introduces a new set of data points that are important to me. And Facebook does that. I now start to measure the relationship, the nature of my community in Facebook by things that have value, like interactions and ways. For example, F-commerce is a great way to demonstrate how you can convert clicks into sales, and how then you can improve conversion metrics, because you still can put Google Analytics within your tabs to get interesting data about that activity. But we have to think about it in this way, and it's a little bit different. Now, I would say this, that Starbucks has 12 million fans, but also the challenge in this new marketing landscape is that sounds like a good number. But the reality is, do we know it's a good number based on clicks to action, conversions? Do we know how many of those 12 million are interacting on a daily basis? And that's the way that we have to start thinking about this, because right now I think we take great sense of pride and accomplishment in the number of fans or followers we have, when we should start looking at how do we increase engagement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.